Exorcism. A close encounter with possessed claim. It was one sunny afternoon in early June 2011 when one of our affiliates contacted me to inform me of a client requesting a session with me related to possession claim. The client believed she was possessed by a spirit who influenced her behavior, forcing her to commit unethical acts. An appointment was set for the following week for me to investigate and ascertain the validity of her claim. It took a while for the client to get acquainted with our method, which was rather unorthodox to the trend of traditional exorcism locally and regionally practiced in the Middle East. After introducing the client to our method and explaining to her how things work with a genuine possession case, I began the questionnaire procedures to enable me garner sufficient evidence to authenticate her claim, otherwise determine the cause of her claim and search for a solution to resolve whatever outcome is revealed by the investigation. A second appointment was agreed upon, and we took our investigation further by regressing back to past personal life events, which was extremely intense, yet very helpful in shedding light upon dark corners in her life. I will refer to the client as Mrs. A. Mrs. A. was a middle-aged married mother of 3 children, though she managed to gain some extra pounds, but there were enough traces left to indicate that she was a beautiful woman before marriage. As it is a common knowledge that many of the marriages in that specific region are arranged without the consent of the female involved, I needed to find out if Mrs. A was forced into the bond of marriage, or if she actually felt any love for the man she was to marry. It was a marriage of mutual interest between the man and her family, and she did not really have a final say in it, because she came from a poor family and marriage to her was a sort of salvation from dependence and poor living conditions. Her marriage didn't turn out to be an ideal one, since she spent most of her married years raising her children on her own due to the nature of the husband's work, which was in another country, resulting in having to spend most of the year away from home. To keep things short, the nature of this relationship ended with the woman having extramarital affairs with another man, who later on became more and more demanding whenever she hinted of her desire to cease this affair. After several sessions I found it right to confront her with my findings. So I delicately explained to her that the only demon she was suffering from was her feeling of guilt resulting from that extramarital affair, and her trying to make an excuse for it to continue, since ceasing it might cause her more troubles if the other man reveals the situation to her husband. She adamantly refused to admit my conclusion and insisted that she was possessed, and in an attempt from her to prove to me her claim, she began to change her look by widening her staring eyes, accompanied by the weird body language associated with a possessed person, with a strange voice and a childlike way of speaking, which to me was even more proof to my prior certainty. The childlike tone and pronunciation of words was a cover-up hiding behind the innocent child figure. I needed to improvise and jump out of the line of what is ordinary and normal in treating such a case, so I decided to play along with her act and put on one of my own to spice up the situation. I told her, I accept her claim since she showed me the demon, and I will attempt to exorcise the demon out and rid her of him and his bad influence, and free her once and for all from that detestable evil. I initiated the exorcism ritual in a traditional way that she would be familiar with and ordered her demon out of her body or else. She, and after approximately 10 minutes, reluctantly remarked that the demon left her, but is still in the room around and standing behind me waiting for the right moment to return to her, so I immediately responded by mimicking and projecting what she did when she played the act of being possessed. Before we start the ritual, I began my transformation by changing my looks, and my eyes, my body language, and of course my voice and the way I speak. Then I looked straight into her eyes and stared at her in a similar fashion to what she did. The startled Mrs. A asked, "What is wrong with me and why am I doing this?" I said to her, "It is because I took away her demon and prisoned it inside me." I cannot find the words to begin describing how my actions stunned her, which at the end lead her to conceive that hopefully she would never need to face her demon again. Out of over 200 possession claims we investigated, we found only one genuine case. The rest were related to psychological problems and emotional disturbances. It is worth mentioning that this incident is absolutely true and authentic, and we at Pray Detect never stop researching and exploring claims and plights of many in need of assistance in this world. Stay safe.